I haven't cleaned this grinder in over 6 months. Now, before you start, putting your thoughts in the comments, it's for a good cause. Someone told me that if we do not clean the burrs regularly, then the fine grounds they just get accumulated on the edges of the burrs, and you don't get such clarity in the brew, and the grounds tend to be more muddy, and so will be your brew. And that's why it is very essential to clean your grinder often. I would say once in a month, but let's see what happens if you don't clean it for over 6 months like I have done. Let's roll the intro. Hi everyone, I'm Pradeep, aka Distill Stills on the interweb, and I haven't cleaned my grinder in the last 6 months. And if you're into content like this, coffees, cameras, photography, then go ahead and subscribe, and I'll make more such things for you. So someone told me that if you do not clean your burrs for a long time, then the fines will get stuck onto the sharp edges of the burrs and you will get a more muddy brew. The clarity will be less and you can have more fines in your grounds, which will eventually slow down your brew and can also clog your brew. So let's see if that is true. Today I'm going to tear down the 1Zpresso JXpro and clean it, and so you guys can follow along if you would like, or it could be useful for somebody who's trying to disassemble and assemble this grinder. It's a little bit of a complex grinder, and I have found other such videos helpful. So in addition to seeing if not cleaning for a long time makes any difference, we'll also see how to disassemble this and put it back together. Okay. You might already know that this grinder has a pretty complex mechanism. The advantage of that is the settings for the grind settings is on the top, which is useful. But the problem is it becomes a little bit more complex. There are a little more parts in this to disassemble while cleaning if you want like a deep clean. If you don't want a deep clean, then you clean your catch cup, clean the outside burrs, and reach as much as possible on the inside burrs and clean that, and that'll be it. But if you want to clean the inside burrs, then we have to disassemble it fully. So there is another problem with this adjustment ring. This groove catches a lot of the beans when we pour them in, and then you have to dig them out by hand. If you want more details on this, then you can watch the video I have already made. It's up in the corner here. So this mechanism is not the easiest to dismantle and put back together or to calibrate. Like when you turn it tightest, it should come to zero, but it can be a little bit complex. I'm not sure if this grinder is still available from 1Zpresso, but I think it's a really good one for both filter as well as espresso, and you couldn't go wrong with the number of adjustments as well as the quality of the grinds that you get from this grind. If you like this kind of content and if it's useful or entertaining to you at any point, then leave a comment and tell me what you'd like and like more. I'll make more of this. So I'll just talk you through it while I am disassembling it. I usually press down this inner burr because it does rotate when you're disassembling it. So press it down and then unscrew it till the last setting and it just pops off. The adjustment ring just pops off. And then there is another one here. This nut is the one which actually makes the sound. So there's a tiny dot here. This is the one which actually makes the sound where it moves over these divots in this washer down here. So if I just take it off, this is the washer. So you can see that this dotted pattern should come on top and the one with the groove goes on top. You can see it's a D shape. That's to match the shape of this drive shaft. It has a flat end on one side, so it can actually go in only one of two ways, right? Then you just push the shaft down and it pops out the other side. So when it does, there's one more washer which comes out. This inner housing does have two parts, just came apart now. It has a flat side, which there are two flat sides which matches the housing here. It just goes in this way. Let's take that out. There's nothing else here, and this is the outer burr. You can already see how much grounds were left behind, and look at the outer burr. So much coffee grounds left there, and this is the inner burr. These edges are sharp, so be careful with those. There's one more washer here. Again, it has a groove on top. This goes upside, and the flat one goes at the bottom against the spring. There's a spring here, and there's a drive shaft. It's connected to the inner burr. It's all metal. It's all solid, quite heavy as well. So let's get to cleaning this. I might fast forward this part. It might be helpful if you have one of those tiny vacuums that to catch all these, but I don't, so I'm just gonna use the tissues to catch these. I'm just going to use the brush first to get rid of all the loose grounds right on top, and then I'm going to use the tissue to wipe it off. There is no need to use water because, like I said, everything is metal, and if you leave water there, it's bound to attract some dust or gunk, or it might rust some of the parts, although it's unlikely because we do use a spritz of water as RDT before every time we grind, so unlikely that it'll rust. But you can see how how the grounds have coated here. That could happen. As you can see, even with the light brushing, there is no coating onto the burr edges. They do feel sharp. So I think these metal burr sets, the high quality ones, which are in many of the enthusiast grinders nowadays at least, do stay quite clean after a long time. It's not like they're accumulating anything, but the other parts, like not the burr edges but the other parts, you can see here there is some accumulation of fine ground particles, which I don't think it will cause any changes in the quality of the grounds that you get. But it has been my experience in the past that once I clean a burr or a grinder, the clarity does improve, and the uniformity of the grounds does improve. So I guess there is something, maybe the inner burr. Yeah, I'm sure that this, yeah, you can see here the outer burr does seem quite coated. So it's possible that if you don't clean for a long time, you will get more fines in your grounds, and that has been my experience. So I have been having clogging of my brews a couple of times when I went a bit finer than I expected. So let's see what happens once I have cleaned it. The outer burr in this JXpro can also be detached. It's really tough to remove it, so I'm not going to try it. Yeah, it's not that easy. I'm not going to try it, but this is removable. There are bearings here. Yeah, I don't suggest you try it either. It's not really necessary. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to do any more than that because I can't really reach some parts of the grinder, and I don't think I will wait another 6 months to clean this. So on repetition it will be faster to clean. You all saw that it was not too difficult to clean or didn't take too much time either. It doesn't require any tools to disassemble this. Let's put this back together. So I always start with this inner bar, go with the spring on it, and the first washer, groove side up, and then insert it from the bottom. So as you can see, you can push this a little bit because of the spring, and it will matter a lot when you're zeroing it. So this is, if in case you didn't know, this is what happens when you adjust the grind settings. When you are making a finer grinds, the bars just go closer and you get fine grinds, and when you loosen the nut, the bars go farther apart and you get coarser grinds. So that is basically what the adjustment system does. Alright, once you have put in the inner bar, this piece is the one which goes in next. So you can see that it has an edge on one side, it's open on the other side. So this edge with the dot goes bottom. So I like to put this dot in the same side as this dot here. So it goes in like this. Then goes this washer, which is same on both the sides, and then goes this one, which has all the divots. Put it in. Next is this one, which makes the sound. It has dots on both the sides, so this also contributes to the trickiness. So when you're putting this last washer in, I like to do this. I put the dot towards this dot and I screw it in. It goes in light for a while and then it starts clicking. Okay, once it's screwed in, you can see it's parallel right now, and then put the 0 here and screw it in. Now you got as close a calibration as you might get. For me, I have been able to get this close. Maybe there is something else that can be done which will help that. So if you don't want to keep pressing here and hurt your fingers, I saw a video or some other grinder wherein the guy put a block of wood inside the catch cup, which pressed against the inner bar when it is screwed in, so that you don't have to keep pressing with your fingers and make them tight. That's about it. Let me just put on the grip. Alright then, I have disassembled, cleaned and reassembled the 1Zpresso JXpro in front of you all. I have a couple more videos of other grinders that I have disassembled and cleaned and put back together. I will try to link them up here, yeah, somewhere. So you can watch them if you have one of those grinders. And quite frankly, some of these grinders are similar in so you might find the tips useful. You might find the tips useful either way. Surprisingly, these are the most watched videos on my channel, and maybe not so surprising because the reassembly can be quite tricky. I myself have watched a lot of these videos when I took apart some of my grinders in the past. Now that we are done cleaning the stuff, I'm going to brew some coffee, and let me see if there is any subjective difference in the speed of the brew or the clarity of the cup. I'm going to use the same settings that I've been using for the last month or so. 17 grams of coffee, 300 grams of water. Let's brew. Let's see how it turns out. The grind setting from 0 is 1, 2, 3 rotations, and then number 2 and number 2 more clicks. Okay, thank you for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, you know what to do, and I hope to see you soon.